We rolling? Yeah, we are. Okay. So a couple of days ago, I brought into work one of my trademark cookie flavors, habanero chocolate chip. And one thing led to another, and there was this whole discussion about chili peppers and determining which is hotter, scotch bonnets, jalapeños, habaneros, and so forth. So I thought I would enlighten you all about a quite interesting fact regarding chili peppers and heat units. Now, what you may or may not have heard of is a unit of measurement called a Scouville unit. It's a relative and not quite scientifically laid out scale to help show the heat of certain peppers. For example, something like a jalapeno will be rated as about 5,000 Scoville units, which on its own doesn't really mean anything, except when you consider that a habanero can have somewhere around the realm of 200,000 Scoville units. All you really need to know from that is that a habanero is that much hotter than a jalapeno. Now, what is a Scoville unit exactly? As I mentioned, it is a relative scale. The idea is that each unit represents the amount of drops of water you're going to need in order to counteract the heat that's found in a pepper. So in that habanero I told you about, with about 200,000 Scoville units, that would mean that one drop of, let's just say, pureed habanero pepper would require 200,000 drops of water before the heat is undetectable. By no means is the habanero the hottest pepper. You may have heard of scotch bonnets, which are roughly 350,000 Scoville units, if you want to think of it like that. Red habaneros can range as high as 500,000. Again, this is not an approximate scale. And some of the hottest peppers, like the ghost pepper you hear about in Culinary Digest, is about 1.7 million Scoville units. Now, let me just put something into perspective for you. That would mean for every drop of that pepper that you have, you would need about 1.7 million drops of water. Put that into perspective, depending on the conversion you use, 1 million drops is about 13 gallons of water. And they're estimating another 700,000 drops of water. Can you imagine that? Imagine filling your bathtub with nearly 20 gallons of water and putting in one drop of that pureed pepper. That's how much water it's going to take for you to not get any heat from that pepper at all. Isn't that astounding? I don't know, I found it quite interesting. Now, you might also be thinking, what about other kinds of pepper, like black pepper? That still hits you like spiciness and so on. Well, yeah, it will. It is kind of pungent, isn't it? But the difference between regular black pepper and chili peppers is what delivers the heat. A chemical in black pepper and similar peppercorns, known as piperine, P-E-P-E-R-I-N-E, I think is how it's spelled, is what's responsible for the pungency, whereas in some chili peppers, it's actually capsaicin. Now, another thing you may hear about is if you're eating something hot and spicy and your tongue can't handle it, go for a drink of water. Don't try butter, because you don't put out a fire with butter, you put it with water. And that's wrong. In many cases, when you're dealing with chili peppers or any kind of spice that is laden with capsaicin, you can't drink water. Capsaicin is not water soluble. It is fat and sugar soluble. That's why when I'm using 5 habanero peppers in one cookie recipe, you get a mellow heat compared to if you just had one raw. Another thing to consider is that when your tongue is burning from a very hot chili, try going after a piece of bread lightly buttered. That will help pick up some of the capsaicin in your tongue and take the burn away. Regarding wasabi, I can't remember the details about what's going on with wasabi and what gives you that tingling in the nose, other than the heat that comes through that. That pungency is water soluble, and it's partly rising up through your nose where the tastes are actually registered. More on that in a different video. And that's where that burning sensation comes from. So anyway, there you have it. Scoville units when it comes to chili pepper hotness, why black pepper and peppercorns are kind of hot but not in the same way, and different ways that you can counteract the heat. That's all the time that I have for today. My train isn't on the way yet, so hope you enjoyed. Bye!